Hi everybody, it's Diana from Art by Diana. Yes, put the music on for me, Rick. He has to behave. Anyways, I'm Diana from Art by Diana. I'm on Facebook and I got my own page, webpage. And tonight I got some Christmas projects. I got all my kits done for today. I got some people in the family I'm doing some stuff for. And this is something I've done before that people have liked. It's probably the 5th or 6th time I've done this. Didn't actually start out being my painting. It was from Painting with a Twist, but I kind of Frankensteined it, did it my own way, so I'm legal. But somebody's been wanting one. I decided I'm going to do it for them. So it's kind of a fun painting. I enjoy doing it. So you can watch me. And just chime in anytime you want. I'll switch it back and forth so I can talk to you. I got some more stuff today in my room. I got a lot of unpacking to do. I ordered more cups and special bottles for, I'm going to need them. This is an old easel. I'm going to need them for the big gallons of paint I got. You can't, you dump it all over, so I squished into little bottles. He actually had bigger bottles for it, but I didn't like those bottles. So I decided to get these instead. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but you'll see what I'm doing once I get going here. I was going to do this up on the big easel, but like I said, I got boxes all over in that corner with bottles and all kinds of studio stuff. I need another standing shelf with shelves in it. All right. And then I'm going to do some dabbing here. I'm going to wet this paper towel a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. A little more color. Let's put more color in there. I'm going to wet the brush. And I want some pink around the edges. I got 2 pinks here. Right around the edges. And I'm going to kind of dab them in. And then I want some yellow around the edges here and there. And then dab here, there, orange. And I'll work from there. I can grab what I need as I go. I don't know if I want to do this a little dry or a little wetter. Let me see. Doesn't look like nothing, but this is going to be kind of the Milky Way. This table is wonky. I need another studio table. But I was doing all this on my dining room table, but then I had no dining room. And I got a lot of stuff out there now, so. Tell you what. Can you see it? Move it back a little bit. There we go. You can see it. Hey, Elise. You don't want to over blend these. You just want to blend them slightly. Sometimes I add a little more white. These down, they're going to come, the light's going to come right up behind these mountains. I got mountains lined in here. Now, I put in one of my ads that free class is on the 20th? It's on the 21st, which I think in the original ad it was. If anybody's watching, I been putting the lists out there. After Tuesday's class, I'll get busy on that and put the lists out. I got this one Bluetooth that I'm doing the music art charged, and I don't know. It dawned on me that the Bluetooth is in the canvas. So all I gotta do is download whatever I want, Pandora or whatever, and it should go right from there. Shouldn't be a problem. So this is just laying in some color right now. It's just not the done deal here. Sometimes you just lay in color and you work from there. Okay. So now I am going to get some more paper towels. It's such a mess in here. I got another one going on over here. I can't really show it to you because you'll know what it is and who it's for. So I can't do that. Well, some of you will know. So this is gonna be the sky back here. I got the moon going like right about here. So I don't always rough sketch it, but I thought, well, I'm gonna be talking. I'm not gonna be concentrating, and I'll just make sure I got it all in there. Now I'm doing a little bit of blue in with this because there would be some glow off this Milky Way. There would be a little bit. So I don't always do a straight black, but you know, this is just fun painting. So it isn't like we're going for all these little details. This is fun, something you can hang up in your bedroom, and it's enjoyable. Fun stuff. No like big technical terms. It's just painting. Fun stuff. A little blue around those edges. Not too much into the yellow, because what's blue and yellow make? Green! Okay. Some blue right here. Now, normally, in a class, I would go after this and I would start doing these edges, so when you hang it up, it just looks more professional. But I'll do that after, so. And I'm going to kind of just a little more blue because these mountains are going to be really black, and I don't want these like too dark around the edges here because there are going to be a lot of stars. I'm going to be putting a lot of stars in here, which you'll see. So this moon and the stars will make this background lighten up a little bit. See, I'm just kind of getting it in there. A little more blue, I think. More blue around here. I just kind of dab around these edges until I get done with the paper towel, because I'll be doing more of that. You kind of want this kind of scratchy because we're going to be throwing a bunch of stars on. Makes it look more like the Milky Way. And I kind of just throw it on here. More blue on this side than black. I really want these mountains to show up here, which will be highlighted with some white so you will see them. Then there'll be water on the bottom. Paint dries pretty quick, so if you got a spot, it's the acrylics, a spot that's like, I don't know, too dark, you can lighten it up with a gray, a blue and white. If it's too light, you can go back over with some black. Not too hard to do. Not worried about that. I'm going to wait for it to dry before I finish it. Take this blue. I'm going to go around the edges here. Don't dab into it too much. Like, see, I dabbed a little too much. I ended up with the yellows, and you end up with the green. You want to blend them in, but you don't want to mix them up too much. You got to kind of eye it off and use your imagination. And I say, I know it's stupid, but I took this class and they said squint your eyes. And somebody said, I don't have to do that. All I do is take my glasses off. Now I know what they meant. But you know, when actually Monet was blind by the end, and they can tell by how blurry his paintings were. But really just kind of, yeah, squint your eyes a little bit and say, don't try to make it too perfect. Now I'm going to kind of just go out here and I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm going to dab all over where the paint is still wet because it dries so fast. You want to get rid of, go into that part. Leave that alone. For right now, we need a different paper towel for that now. I feel like I want a little more blue because I'm afraid my mountains aren't going to show up over here. So I'm going to kind of, I grab some orange. Shit. Go over this with some blue. Now, I know a lot of people like saving paint, and women are, I go through this all the time with my women classes. They're like, I'm just wasting it. No, you're not. Well, for one thing, if I give them the class and I'm giving you the paint, you already paid for it. So you need to use as much as you need to know. But there was this famous guy I took classes with. He's famous in California, but he teaches, online and Zoom, and you got to pay for it. And he is really good. And he said the biggest problem is women in hoarding paint. They won't use enough paint. I understand that because, like, I'm a woman. I'll walk around the kitchen, around the house with, a quarter of an ounce of cereal left in the bottom of the box. Anybody going to eat this? Stupid stuff women do. But, this is a painting. Use your paint, Don't be afraid. Use it. Doesn't look that good if you skimp on some things. Some things you can skimp a little bit, but, if you're doing practices, you want to skimp, That's why I say get one of those little books like I have, a little practice book. That way you can, that way when you go to do these big ones, see, I've done this painting before, so I know what I need, So, anyways, you get the picture. So now, I'm going to sprinkle on a bunch of white. I'm going to put some of this blue up in here, just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take that brush I just used to do the background all scratchy. Gotta clean it off real good. Usually I have, I don't know where it went. I usually have 2 buckets of water. So when I need to clean the color really good, I use my second one only when I need, I don't know what I did with it. I must have left it in the other room. Sometimes you need a really clean color. It doesn't have to be too clean. But don't judge, my water ain't always clean. But it's gonna look pretty light over that dark. So I'm gonna add water, make it really soupy. And I'm going to make some stars. You can do it like this. It's soupy enough. You can give it a little flicks. My one arm, I had a problem with this one arm. I had a disc go out in this arm, and I can't only get it so high, my left one. Went through the same thing with my right one. And it's arthritis, something. It's called old age. But you see what's going on here now. I got all these stars are flicking into there too. So I got like a whole Milky Way thing going here. This is really going to show a lot of stars, so this is going to be dark, so don't worry about it. Really go to town. Watch the glasses, though. All right. So now, let me get this one done. I'm going to need another one. I'm going to use a lot of white again. Another paper towel. Instead of dabbing in, I'm going to dab out now. Now, when I teach this in the class, this is basically how I teach it. Keep it simple, what you gotta do. Any questions, you just would chime in and ask me. Who else is talking to me? Just Lisa. Oh, hi, Laura. Hello, Steph. Oh, Stephanie. Okay, let's see. Sherry. All right, you can all see me tonight? You can see I'm going to put a big sign up right here. Make sure they can see the painting. I'm not the only one because I'm watching other people do classes online. They do the same freaking thing. They just, you get to talking or, I'm learning all these new buttons and crap. And I'm like, where's this button? And then I get distracted and it's my own fault, so. Okay, I want more white there. I need more white. Not just me. No more white. This is actually, I'm not going to worry about this edge because you know something? This is going to be behind the mountain. But I got to have some more white right in here. I have to. This is going to be right behind the mountain. There we go. I got this huge piece of canvas sitting on the porch calling my name. Paid a lot. Well, I got a good deal on it because my friend makes them. But I want to do something, when I'm dead, they say, wow, look at that. Doesn't got to be perfect. It's just got to be, wow. That's what you're supposed to do. This guy that I was just talking about, he says, it ain't got to be a spectacular piece of art. It ain't got to be nothing fancy. What it's got to be is, wow. We took this one class on doing tinfoil. It's some tough crap doing tinfoil. Let me tell you something. And the one guy, he just did like a soda bottle with like a peppermint patty wrapper next to it. Let me tell you something. It was freaking good. It wasn't perfect. It was just shiny. You knew what it was, the way it was positioned. The guy had been doing it a long time. But that's the moral of the story. If you want to really do this, you got to think about that. So that piece of canvas has been sitting there about 5 months. Now he's doing round ones. You know I want a round one. You know I do. But we work together, so he gives me deals. I help him out. He helps me out. But I don't know what I'm going to do on it. I think I'm going to do some kind of landscape. But I don't know. I really love my flowers. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I want this like way up in here too, up here. I want this to go right up off the canvas. Oh, starting to mix again. Sometimes you do 85 paintings, you only get one good one. That's the way it is when somebody dies and they go through and they go through all their stuff. They're like, oh, he did do faces. He did do boats. Look, he did his dog. It's true. Yeah. Learn education while you're painting, right? Okay, so little stars out there. I put my stars in this way, the bigger ones. I need more white. See, I'm talking about doing a serious class here. I'll do it once in a while. This lady I take classes, another one I took class with, she teaches. Self-taught too. She kind of figured it out on her own too, and she's giving me some ideas. So I'm still working on that. When, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I think I got too many right there. Put too many in, take a couple out. So, too many right here. So, that'll be my next project after this 21st show. And I did a painting for New Year's. I don't know about when we're going to do it. I don't know if we'll all get drunk together. I don't really do anything Christmas Eve, but I'm sure lots of other people do. New Year's Eve, should I say. And I don't know. This year's been crazy, so who knows. All right, so I'm going to do this guy. And basically, it's a little white and blue and black. I'm going to make like a little black, a little blue. Make kind of a bluish gray, just like the background. Then a lot of white. So I get kind of grayish white. I'm going to start my moon. I need to bring my blow dryer in. Usually I can dry this with my blow dryer pretty good. Get it pretty round. Use a little more of that color, and I'm trying to kind of do some dabbing here, so the moon's not really smooth. Kind of do one side a little whiter, one side a little darker. If you ever get a chance, go look up Amanda Hilburn. I love her stuff. I emulate a lot what she does. She's does a lot of farmhouse style. They sell a lot of her stuff like she sells them. They buy it, Target, all different companies. I couldn't tell you all of them, but a lot of her work is farmhouse style. You'll see I do a lot of stuff that doesn't look, it looks a little more antique-y. Then I do some stuff that looks, you know, old style, Van Gogh-ish, and that's I learned from. When I first started learning down in Charleston, Somerville, it was a big, huge artist community before there was even one up here. There was some, but not like down there. And they taught a lot of that, like Van Gogh, Monet, Gauguin, Turner, all them like old school. So every now and then somebody will say, you know, that looks like, well, yeah, that's... And I didn't even know what it was. I just like a painting. I go, yeah, I'll try it. You know, if it came out good, it did. And if it didn't, it didn't. You know, it's just what happened because I'm getting to be old. I've been around a while. Sometimes I forget that. They'll say, well, how do you know that? I remember one time I asked my mom, how can you do puzzles so good? She goes, Diana, it's age. Because you just know more stuff. You know, you just do. I mean, you might not always remember exactly that moment, but, you know, I'll go back over that puzzle 3 or 4 times, you know. Try to figure it out. All right, you get the idea there. I can always come back later and fixie. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't right away. The paint's a little wet though here. I always put my pinky down, steady myself, but then I end up with pinky marks. Better if the paint's dry. Okay. Still got some more dabbing over there to do. Put some big ones in here and there. Okay. I'm going to take straight black. I'm going to start making some mountains. I'm going to highlight them so you ain't really going to see no definition in the mountains, at least not yet. I'm going to go up here. Kind of want it thick and wet because I'm going to go over it with some gray. And I'm going to define, mix some more in here. You guys see that? Can you guys see it? Huh? Which side can't you see? This side? Which side? This side over here? Or this side? This side more? See, I need this. There's a specific mount. It's called an Acron. And it's huge. It stays on the table and it comes up over your work. It's not cheap. I probably need a couple of them. Can you see that better? It's a special table mount for the phone, and I have like 2 camcorders. I just want to drag all that stuff in here right now. Oops. Is that better? Hello. Okay. Good. It's like it's like a square. I don't know how you would describe it. It goes on the table. Has a big arm. It has different ones that go up and down and stuff. I have a small one that I use in the other room, and I have this is a lamp with where you put the phone in the middle. I'd like another one of these, and I have another big one which is huge and heavy in the other room. So. I just haven't, like I said, I haven't got it all situated yet. I'm just like working on it. Kind of like, just using what I have. She said to do that. I'm getting scrappy, Just use what I have and I'm working it as I go, So I don't spend a lot of money. Could actually probably use a little more light on this. Enough light over here. Just get this on here. Most important thing when you're doing, nobody believes me, but you get enough teachers and they're going to tell you the same thing. You have to make sure that this is level. So one of the first things I do when I'm doing the paint, when I get to this part, or sometimes the very first thing I do, I have a couple big rulers in my paint buckets. And I take them and I literally just do it with a pencil. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, but I've had beautiful paintings and the easel was crooked and I could mess with it, hang it up on the walls before cameras, and I'd walk by it. If that's what it was great because it was just enough so it throws the whole. And sometimes you'll know something's wrong with the painting, even somebody's really not very art smart, and they know there's something wrong, they can't take some well. That's what's nice about the camera, because I can take the camera and say, But just trying to make sure that this is pretty even the way across. So I'll fix it when I do the water. Okay, now while this is still wet, in there, I'm going to take this white. It's got some colors in there, but that's okay. That's okay. And I'm going to kind of just skim over these and kind of make myself some little mountains. Just skimmy. Wherever you want them. Don't make them perfect. Everybody tries to make them. Up here there'd be a little light from the moon and the Milky Way, so right at the top of your mountains you'd want a little light. More on this side. On this side it's going to be dark in this corner because there's nothing really there except for a few stars. So just kind of skim over while it's still kind of wet, dryish. I mean, you could do this when it's dry, but you'd have to make sure it's really kind of... See, this way you can make some new mountains too. A little orange in there, but that's okay. Don't hurt. Sometimes those happy little accents work out great. Like I said, this is a painting I teach. So when we're teaching, you have to be able to do the painting, talking in under an hour, really, because we take breaks. Like they go on a little party or something. Maybe they'll have a cake or sing happy birthday. They come in, they get comfortable. They would look around the studio, pick out paintings. We tell them about what we do and what it costs and what days we're there and who works. And so that eats up a lot of the time. And they go hang, they get their booze open. We always carried extra can openers or, you know, what do they call that? Bottle openers and stuff. And we had a table where they can open their food. And then we get them all situated and introduce ourselves and, you know, show them where the bathroom and the water fountain and anything they needed. If they want. There's a liquor store down the corner, which was very convenient. But we sold cups of wine there too, so that was pretty cool. I'm just going to do this with some white and gray. And so that ate up a lot of the time. We always took a 15, 20, 25-minute break in between how fast, as we had a clock up for how fast the class would go. So it's very important to be able to accomplish a painting in under an hour. And that's why it's important to have a dryer. Then we had like a line of dryers on the wall. Probably a few of you have taken paint sip classes. And we called it the salon. And what would happen is in between each section, because I wouldn't let you do what I just did, I would make you do the middle part, put the dark part on, put the moon in, and go dry it. And then sprinkle on the stars and do the moon. Then I'd probably have you dry it again and do this black part. And then dry it again, then do the bottom. Now, some people would be some people would be behind. So depending on how good the class was, how fast or how talented or how drunk usually they were, would determine. So we always did 2.5 hours figure, because some of this stuff I do like this, I've done before, that I've done it there. It's meant to be done pretty fast. You know, I had to learn to get faster and have all these little tricks, you know, to make it faster. So like that one I'm doing with you guys, the snowman. That's why I'm going to use a bowl. I'm going to have you get a bowl and a pencil. And some of them I will do the whole background in a dark color. Then you let it dry with the dryer. Then I'll take chalk. I'll have you chalk in, like, say, a snowman or whatever. And then it's like you already got it. You can fix it with your fingers like a chalkboard. So acrylic dries almost like a chalkboard. And then you would just fix it with your finger, with a little water. We weren't allowed to use our tongue. We had to use either a small brush and just wipe out the parts we didn't want and go over it and over and over till you get the way you want it. And then you just paint that part. So that's kind of what we're going to do with the snowman. So this is fun painting. Yeah. Where's that? I kind of want to make sure this is done dry by Christmas. Let's see if this is even. This is dry over here. I don't like. Oops. Dab it a little. Kind of dry brush this a little more white here. Too light. I want a little darker, I think. Darker here. Okay. They've been watching, didn't see how much white I use. I use a lot of white. Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie Holmes, are you my cousin? Are you my second niece? I can't remember. Stephanie. Gotta be related somewhere, your Holmes. See, Bill Holmes is on here, Bill Jr. I don't know if I've ever met Bill Jr. Okay. Of course, you guys know, I'll just put some white in here. There's some colors in here, but that's okay. The more that you like and share, because I'm trying to build this business, it's weird how Facebook does this. I've been told I've been taking classes of people that do this now. They've been doing it a long time. It's a new thing now because artists, all the places are closed, are trying to sell. And I'm willing to do a little bit of everything. Kits and classes inside and outside and online. But the thing with Facebook is, evidently, she says how the algorithms work is if the more lives, like what I'm doing right now, I'm doing a live, that I do, the more they push them out, they say that I'm using their platform. And as a reward, they will spread it out more and put it on more often on my news feed. And I did, right now I on a promotion, not on this one, but whatever ones I think that look popular, they have ones they think look popular. They tell me where they're going to put them or whatever. But they will give me more boost simply by, all you got to do is, you ain't got to talk or anything. Just put, I'm here, anything. Like, click, share, hate, I don't care. So I'm just going to lay this in with white first, because I want this to be lighter, especially in the middle where this is going to, you know, right here. But I'm going to just put this in white. Just so you know that. Even if I'm not live, because it shows up in the feed, I share some of these and I save them. So it'll pop up later and you can still go on there and watch. Nothing like watching yourself make an idiot out of yourself. I mean, you know, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. But I do it anyways. Okay, so as a rule, not always, something I learned a long time about doing landscapes. You want to kind of do the same blues, but as a rule, the way the light hits the water, it's never the same blue in the sky that's in the water. So I tend to use something close, but either darker or lighter, and I can highlight it. And it works for me. It's kind of a light refraction kind of thing. So it's just something I've always done, and it's always worked. It's like the same blue, but it's not the same blue. So I'm just going to get this on. Use a little bit of the other blue. Like I said, this isn't no Van Gogh kind of stuff. This is just fun painting. And I'm going to go like towards the middle and leave this part out kind of light. So, you know, you get that reflection right in here. You'll leave some, because there's white underneath, leave some sections out. Don't be perfect with it. Make your life easy. I got this old Bob Ross brush worn right out. I freaking love it. My daughter worked for WCNY for a while out of Rochester. And they had that Tellock, and she got a good deal. I got the whole kit. The brush things, you can see it kind of got beat up and stuff. It really is beat up. But, I mean, talk about, like, feeling good in your hand. He had amazing talent, you know, with the product. He made more money in the products than he did in the paint. He didn't give her any paintings at all. I don't know if you know that. But very few, most of them to charity. He didn't sell them. He made all his money doing classes and selling his products and his paint, which have a nice consistency, you know. But they're oil. And he made it look fast. But, you know, you still had to have some talent. You had to practice. Because, same thing, you got to learn to speed that paint up. All right, so now I'm going to kind of just keep it light in the middle over here. And then right here, I'm going to kind of do a half moon right here. It's going to be barely there, but it's going to be there. Put the dark in kind of right over the top of it. Let this dry a minute. My medium size, get my little brush out. Got a little paint on my hands. How about a hug? I always run out of blues and yellows. Think I like blue and yellow? There's a lot of blue and yellow. Abnormal amount of blue and yellow. This is the dark one. I'll mix this in with a little of the black, I think. I think I need this blue a little darker, though. Yeah, a little darker. Just the edges. Now, you want some of the reflection of the stars to be in the water. So I'm making this little sections darker here. The edges are going to be darker. It's supposed to be. And from the mountains, some of this water would be dark because the light is behind the mountains. Most of it. Not all of it. So you kind of, I'm going to do a little darker underneath the mountains a little bit. Just a tiny bit. It's nighttime, you haven't got a big daylight reflection, so you ain't got to do a perfect mountain. Just so that you know that it would be a little darker right in here. I'm kind of mixing the blue and the black. Keeping that middle part out again. Just this upper part you want kind of dark. Okay, now I'm going to take some, just wipe it off a little bit. You ain't got to rinse it out. With our acrylics, you don't do a lot of rinsing. You tend to work with colors in a sequence so that you can use the same color in the brush without having to keep rinsing it. Because what happens is if I drop water at the top, it's not watercolor. It'll make a hole all the way down and take the paint with it. It's impossible. You can fix it. It's fixable, but it's kind of like it's there. So I tell you, don't get carried away with the water. Don't dip unless I tell you to dip, you know. Don't need a little more white again. And now we're going to kind of make some lines with the white. You want to kind of like see some reflection towards the middle. See, now if you want to do this painting, you know, once I start doing the inclusive where you buy the ticket and only the people that bought it can see it. But on the free ones, you can just, this is good for a year. You can just go through and see what Diana did because I want to do something similar and give it a try. Any questions, you know, you can always chime in at any time and say, hey, remember when you did this painting? What, and you used it? Do you remember what you did? And can you send me to a link? You know, a lot of this, there's some of these, this one particular, that'll show up in Painting with a Twist and some of their older ones. A little blue here. Get too much paint building, I always use the edge of this. We use these in class. I don't always use these myself, but sometimes I only like to have the color on my palettes that I'm going to use and nothing else. Sometimes I like a bunch of colors. I don't know what I'm going to do. It depends on my mood. I'm going to make a few stars here. Splatter on some stars on the bottom. Oh, it needs to be a little more whiter. Well, maybe not. Try it over here. Oh, it's okay. Well, come on, you gonna cooperate with me? Sometimes you gotta get the soup mix just right. There we go. Maybe this over here. It's okay. Just a few here and there. Just kind of want to mess up this little area right here so you know there's a reflection from darken up around these edges a little bit. Alright. So I think you get the idea here. You see that? This is an old easel tabletop. It was given me by an old artist. She's long dead. I couldn't remember her name. Well, her name's on the back. Her name was Mrs. Walker. I don't know her first name. But I had to put an arm on here. It fell off. I put it on backwards. There's slats to hold it up. I did it backwards. Now I got to fix it. I'm like, why is it down here? It's supposed to be up here. I have 30 of the other ones for classes, but I was too lazy to go into the other bedroom and get them for off-site. So what you think? Pretty good, huh? It's a pretty painting. Oops, too much blue there. Pretty painting. Somebody gonna like this for Christmas, and I ain't telling who. I ain't telling who. Hey. So who's on here tonight? I can't pronounce that name. Arentes? Arentes? Hi. Good to meet you. And there's Bill. Who else we got in here? Stephanie, Lisa, Bill, Stephanie. Laura was on here. Rachel. Hell, I was just informed your cousin William Holmes is my father. Okay. So you are my father's brother's child. So that would make you my cousin. Right? Yeah. I'm sorry he shared it. I really am sorry, Stephanie. Hi, Laura. It's my sister, my baby sister, Sherry and Laura, Lisa. Oh, who else in here? Well, you got a nice little crowd tonight. That's nice to know. Okay. So that's what I'm doing for tonight. Like I said, I got another one I can't do in front of you because you'll know who it's for. And I'm going to do another one. Same thing for a friend. And then I got one. I'm doing that Bluetooth one. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Look at this mess. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do. So I did do the one for, it's right here. I'm doing this one for New Year's. You see it? I don't know if I like this cone thing. Oops. I don't know if I like this cone thing. You see this for New Year's? But I'm thinking just going to make this more rounded. And I wasn't sure what to put in here. I didn't know if nobody was thrilled about 2020. But you could just put 2021. I got to clamp this down. This is my idea book. So I have ideas in, and I mess around with a couple ideas. And then once I know what I'm doing, then I'll do a big painting. So that's what I did today. I did this yesterday. And I'm going to have a class Tuesday if anybody else wants a kit. They're still $10. It's for this snowman. I don't even know where he is. Where's my snowman? Oh, he's right here. I'm doing a snowman class. Pretty simple. When I first got this snowman, I didn't know that we're supposed to, I'll ruin my chair. We didn't know that we were supposed to get this on the computer and sketch it out, but I do stuff by freehand because I've been doing this almost 40 years. So I just sketched it out, and I'm going to give you guys a little sketching lesson. I just got a scanner to do prints for my artwork that I'm going to sell. It's a bit a little cheaper. People can't afford those big paintings. So they showed me how to do it, but I don't really need to. But I'll be selling these classes where I give you the link and you put it onto a piece of paper. Like here's one of them. And then you buy tracing paper, pretty cheap. Put it on there, flip it over, put that on there and pencil it in. Now you get a painting. Now, if there's somebody local, I'm going to sketch all of them out, you know, but when you get into the fancier stuff, you really got to have that because not everybody's going to be able to do. They have some big stuff that they do. So, this one company I'm dealing with. But most of them aren't going to be able to do that freehand. So, I'm going to give you a little sketching lesson with this. And then I made a mess on it. And you'll be able to do that Tuesday night. It's the 21st. For some reason, I thought it was the 20th. And see, what else am I doing? Those Bluetooth. I got it charged, but like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was thinking maybe just doing something very calming, maybe water or something. And then maybe put like, I don't know, some calming kind of music or something. Yogish, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. But they're pretty cool. This guy I worked for had a studio. And they're sound art. And you try charging, my other one's charging. And plays 8 hours of music. You put it on the wall, it goes on and off. It's got a charger, you gotta plug it when you don't know when it's done. They just didn't sell. It's Bluetooth. They didn't sell. They were $100 to buy it. $35, $45 for the class. Well, nobody wanted them. Because the kind of people that take these classes, they're just here to have fun. You know, they're not, you can spend $100, get yourself a real piece of art. That's what I say. Go buy the real stuff. Anyways, I bought a couple of them. He's got a bunch of them. So I says, well, I'm either going to see if anybody wants to buy them like this, keep them for myself, or I was thinking maybe getting a few more, painting something pretty on them and use them kind of like as some kind of enticement to get you people to get on here, like, you know, some kind of contest. So everybody's got an idea. I'll paint a pretty one, get it charged. What kind of music do you think you'd want to hear? Let me know. You know, something that everybody would want to hear would have to go on it, you know, something popular. A lot of people like country, you know. So just a thought, and maybe what kind of paintings I should do on it, you know. I think he said he's got 40 of them. But I think that would be better than charging somebody $135. And if you're going to spend $135, you can go to my art site, artbydianamyers.com, and buy yourself a real piece of art, okay? But I think they're pretty cool, because I want one. I'm going to hang. That's why I bought one. He says, well, you want to get two? I said, well, I guess so. So, like I said, I don't think anybody's going to want to pay that kind of money. But he didn't sell them to me that much. I could sell them for like half price. You'd be fine. So that's one more thing I'm doing. And so I think that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys. I might hop back on here for different things, but the next class is Tuesday. I've got like 7 more kits left. So if anybody wants a kit, they're $10. It's cheap. And they're adorable. I got everything in them, you know. And I actually was looking up kids' jokes. Like reindeer and snowman and Santa jokes for little kids. So as, you know, I'm going to have you guys kind of get them started. I've got some things in there for you to do. Because, you know, like I said, once they get the paint in their hands, those ornaments are history. Okay, they're going to be painted. So, you know, there's like a few things they can color, and I'll get them all set up. I'll tell them what to do. So try not to let them get a hold of it until the beginning of the class. They're going to be driving me out of their mind. So I'll get right on when I'm supposed to be, maybe a couple minutes early. And it'll probably take like an hour tops. And I'm just going to give them some ideas and what they have to do. I'm going to tell them some jokes. You know, I get liquid sparkles because I'm afraid that if I gave them sparkles, you'll have sparkles, you know. I'm afraid when I die and they do a bone sample, they're going to find a sparkle in it. They're going to know, oh, she was an artist. Because we had a party one time. We did one of the first birthday parties I did, and there was 10 little girls. 9 little girls, 1 little boy. I think they're 8 or 9 years old. And the parents bring in, sparkle cake and sparkle tutus. They had their names put on with sparkle unicorn thing. And we were cleaning up sparkles for a year. Okay, so that's why I do the liquid sparkles, and they're really pretty. You just gotta let it dry a little bit, you end up with a mess. So, you know, I'm gonna try to tell them, you know, just hold the sparkles back because they're gonna want them bad. It's like kid crack, you know. All right, guys. So I'll see you later. Have a good night. Catch up with me when you can. Like I said, like and share all you can. All right, good night, guys.